Capital News tonight. President Dr. John Magufuli revokes appointments of Minister of Home Affairs and Head of Fire Force. President Dr. John Magufuli has appointed George Simbachawene as the new Minister of Home Affairs. And in sports, Tanzania has finished fourth in the Zurkani International Competition in Iran. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. President Dr. John Magufuli has revoked the appointments of the Minister of Home Affairs, Kangi Lugola, and the Commissioner of Rescue and Fire Force, Tobias Andengenye, after signing contracts for the purchase of firefighting equipment worth 408.5 million euros, which is equivalent to more than 1 trillion Tanzanian shillings. President Magufuli made the decision during the inauguration of new residences for officers at Ukonga Prison in Dar es Salaam. Kangi Lugola becomes the third minister to be sacked during President Magufuli's leadership.
If there is any ministry that's causing me a lot of problems, it is the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I want Tanzanians to know this, since we've been in power, a lot of commissions were set up to investigate Ministry of Internal Affairs and its bogus projects. I had hoped that people would learn from past mistakes. The minister with a mandate has handed over his resignation letter and I've accepted. The main issue here is a lack of ethics. Just recently, there was a contract with a lot of misgivings prepared by the ministry itself worth 408 million euros. This project was prepared and signed by the Commissioner General. It was not budgeted for. Neither was it approved by the House of Parliament. We cannot lead a nation on such dubious foundation.
President Dr. John Magufuli has appointed George Simbachawene as the new Minister of Home Affairs, taking over from Kangi Lugola, whose appointment as Minister of Home Affairs has been revoked. Announcing the changes at State House in Dar es Salaam, Chief Secretary Ambassador John Kijazi said that President Magufuli has appointed Musa Zungu as the Minister of State Vice President's Office for Union Affairs and Environment. President Magufuli has also directed the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau (PCCB) to immediately start investigation on the contract signed by a foreign company and the fire force, which he said was of no benefit to the country.
Leo tarehe 23 Januari mwaka 2020, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Mheshimiwa Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli.
Today, January the 23rd, 2020, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has carried out some minor cabinet reshuffling as follows. Honorable President has nominated Musa Azam Zungu to be the Minister in Vice President's Office in charge of the Union and Environment, formerly held by George Boniface Simbachawene, who has now been moved to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, whereby he will continue to serve in his current ministerial position. He will be replacing Honorable Kangi Lugola. Honorable President has also nominated 3 ambassadors: Major General Jacob Kingu, Dr. John Stephen Simbachawene from the President's Office, and Commissioner General Faustin Kasike, who was the Commissioner General, Prison Service. In addition, Honorable President has extended time to 7 ambassadors whose period had expired as follows. Ambassador George Madafa in Italy has been added 2 years. Ambassador Lieutenant Polignas Mesa in DRC, 2 years. Ambassador Job Masima in Israel, 2 years. Ambassador Emmanuel Nchimbi in Brazil 2 years, Ambassador Asha Rose Migiro in United Kingdom 2 years, Ambassador Benedicta Mashiba in Malawi 2 years, and Ambassador Sylvester Mabumba in Komoro 2 years.
Balozi alikuwa kamishna jenerali wa magereza.
11 residents from 17 households of Indanoga and Galapo villages in Babati district Manyara region were injured when their houses were demolished by a heavy rainstorm. The district's disaster committee has visited the areas to provide support.
Upepo mahali ilikopita mahali ambapo ilikuwa na nguvu zaidi. Kwa kweli haikubakiza kitu.
The wind swept away anything on its course, although some areas on the margins were not so badly affected.
Mimi nimechangia bando 6 za bati.
I've contributed 6 bundles of iron sheets and 17 tents. We will keep speaking to friends about this so we can keep assisting you. However, those who have been hurt must be treated.
Leaders of 183 out of 187 institutions, organizations and companies have implemented a directive given by President Dr. John Magufuli after handing over dividend and contributions to the government amounting to 25.12 billion shillings. Speaking in Dodoma at an occasion to receive the dividend, the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Philip Mpango, said that 4 institutions failed to implement the directive due to various reasons, including lack of productivity.
I would like once again to commend board chairpersons and board members for honoring the Honorable President's directive, any board chair and chief executive officer who failed to honor the President's order. I was ready by midnight to fire you, which would have been a big shame for having failed to serve the people. We are working hard in revenue collection, but the need is too great. Within the 60-day period to honor the order given, a total of 25.12 billion was collected. Nonetheless, there are 4 corporations who have not been able to contribute because of various reasons, and some are not in operation. One is TPI and 2 are
The road from Handeni district Tanga region to Turiani in Morogoro region has become impassable due to flooding on bridges. The situation has caused some passengers to be transported over the floods at a cost of between 2,000 and 5,000 shillings.
As you can see, there is so much water and we have to help each other cross over. I'm coming from Morogoro heading to Tanga, and so far I've connected more than 3 vehicles, and every time it gets more expensive. We ask if members of parliament from respective regions could do something about this.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, some opposition members of parliament in Uganda have said that they will continue to remain in the parliament building in protest against threats being made on their lives by unidentified people. They say they are sending a message to President Yoweri Museveni that the issue is in his hands and he has the responsibility to ensure security of all citizens.
We as the opposition,
We as members of opposition, together with other members of parliament, we strongly believe that change in human rights, human life and dignity will remain inactive in the chambers.
but instead of threatening to arm race on the floor,
Our call to the ruling party is to join us in this fight. We cannot remain silent as we witness our fellow members of parliament killed like animals.
Other chambers.
President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has said decisions made by judicial officers should give priority to public interest rather than narrow partisan concerns. Speaking after receiving a report on performance of the judiciary, he said government policies to improve the economy and security are often hampered by frequent court injunctions procured by people who are motivated by narrow interest rather than public good.
I appreciate what CJ is saying. Yes, you need more money. But CJ, your courts are the same ones. When we propose certain tax measures, you are the first ones to say injunction. Sasa pesa hii itatoka wapi? Where will it come from? Hapana, that one, oh, hiyo unconstitutional, sijui hiyo itakuja review siku hiyo na hiyo. Alafu the same mouth nataka pesa. Ladies and gentlemen, while we in the executive also must admit and can never claim in any way to be perfect, but I believe we can point to numerous cases of our senior officers who have been subjected to investigation and prosecution without any interference by the executive. I think we need to do this in all arms of government.
The judiciary is where we have very, very serious challenges. We have situations where a case has been filed, hearing has been done, documents have been produced, very, very, very sensitive documents, and as soon as all those documents are produced, that file disappears completely. Why? Because somebody has, through corruption, gets that file completely lost. And then we have a huge problem. Allow me, Your Excellency, to give you one other incident where you will see how difficult it is.
Military commanders from 12 Great Lake countries have toured Beni in the Democratic Republic of Congo to assess the security situation and to look into the root cause of ADF rebel attacks on citizens in the area. What we see right now is to involve everybody in finding peace in the country. Security solutions must be found in the Great Lake regions from Angola to South Sudan. The government of Burundi has received 113 nationals who have been deported from Rwanda. The Burundians who are undergoing a training on patriotism have called on the government to help them get back assets they have left behind in Rwanda. I was arrested and detained. I didn't get any chance to see the leader of that region to help me. While in detention, I found other Burundians also in prison. I would like to call on the government to help us get our items that were left behind in Rwanda. Let us remain united and maintain security so that we could build our villages and our nation. We also urge you to join in agricultural marketing cooperative AMCOS groups found in your villages. And that is the end of International News. Business news follows shortly after this break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight, a team of 23 cardiologists from Israel has started a 3-day visit at Ngorongoro National Park following an invitation from President Dr. John Magufuli to see various tourist attractions and to promote them in their country.
And we are very thankful for this opportunity, not only seeing the people back in Dar es Salaam, but also experience the beautiful nature and culture you have here in the bush. So we are very thankful for this opportunity to be in the safari.
Mwaka jana wakiwa katika ziara yao pale katika taasisi ya moyo ya Jakaya Kikwete walipata bahati.
Last year, when these doctors visited Jakaya Kikwete Heart Institute, they were honored to meet President Dr. John Magufuli, where Honorable President was thrilled with the work they did in improving the institute's services, where he offered them to visit Ngorongoro National Park.
Angependa watembeze waweze kuona pia na maeneo mengine ya nchi yetu.
3 farmers from Itipula village in Njombe region have said the price for timber has dropped due to the value-added tax VAT being charged on the forest resource, causing many farmers to sell their timber at unprofitable prices.
Miti kwa kweli wapasuaji wapo wanaokuja kununua na wananunua kwa bei ndogo.
Buyers are buying timber at low prices. This is a result of the burden of levies imposed on them by the government. Back in the farms, forests that we used to sell for up to 20 million shillings, right now farmers are selling them for 5 million shillings. Timber traders are supposed to be registered in value-added tax according to laws, including value-added tax section 29. I may remind them that this tax is not new. It has been there all these years. Confederation of Tanzania Industries (CTI) has said that among goals it plans to achieve this year is to ensure taxes which are burdened in the industrial sector are removed in order to create a friendly business environment.
Kwa maeneo ambayo tumepanga kufuatilia mwaka huu ni
This year, we are determined to focus on business regulations, where we believe that in Blueprint, it will be handled easily. Our aim is to continue collecting opinions and challenges so that they could help the government and institutions work on them. Meanwhile, we are also targeting budgeting system in order for us to bring our contributions in issues like taxation policies.
Mwaka waga tunaalikwa kipindi cha mwezi wa pili mpaka wa 3.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Maikinho, he did lose to Lynn.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Tanzania has finished 4th in the Zulkarnain International Competition and 3rd in the Kosti Palavani wrestling style in the competition, which ended today in Iran.
Mashindano ya tatu ya mchezo wa Zulkarnain, mashindano ya tatu.
World Third tournaments for Kosti Palavani and Zulkarnain were held in Morjon in Iran. Tanzanian team has secured the 4th position in general games, but in Kosti Palavani games, which are Iranian wrestling, a Tanzanian team which was represented by Musa Sheikh Kagoma, coming from Dar es Salaam Prisons team, has won 3rd place. The tournament went well, with our participants remaining in good condition, and they are expecting to go back home tomorrow.
Tanzania imeshika nafasi ya tatu nyuma ya Cameroon.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Manchester United were not good enough in their 2-0 home defeat against Burnley. The Reds were booed off the booth after half-time, and full-time and large parts of Old Trafford emptied with 5 minutes to go. United have now lost more games than they have won since Solskjaer was appointed permanent manager in March. And world number 1 Rafael Nadal reached the 3rd round of the Australian Open with a straight-set win over Argentina's Federico Delbonis. Nadal, beating for a record equaling 20th Grand Slam title, swept aside a 76th ranked Delbonis 6-3, 7-6, 7-4, 6-1. The Spaniard will face compatriot and 27th seed Pablo Carreno Busta next. Nadal has not won the Australian Open since 2009, but 2009 he has entered this year's first Grand Slam as the top seed. And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Kadinya Zimbwe. Thank you for watching, and good night.